Welcome class, we are going to discuss the ATD Level 2 Financial Accounting paper, May 2021. This is question 4. Tangazo Society organizes educational seminars and workshops for its members. It also publishes a monthly magazine for circulation to both members and non-members. The following is the receipts and payments account for the society for the ended 30 September 2020. So we have balance brought forward. This is the receipts and payment account. Subscription, investment income, magazine advertisements, magazine subscriptions, those are the figures. Then on the payment side, we have printing of magazines, lecture fees, stationery and postage, telephone expenses, general expenses, purchase of office equipment, rent and rates, salaries and wages, balance carried forward. That is the figure. Additional information as of 30th September, we have salaries and wages accruing, owing to the magazine printers, magazine advertisement income receivable, magazine subscription advance, office equipment, and investments. And during the year ended 30th September 2020, the following amounts were spent on distribution of the magazine. 325,000 of the total cost of salaries and wages, 545,000 of the total cost of stationery and postage. And then during the year ended 30th September 2020, the annual subscription received included those ones. We are supposed to come up with magazine income and expenditure account for the year ended 30th September 2020, income and expenditure account for the year ended 30th September 2020, and statement of financial position as at 30th September 2020. So we'll go straight to the magazine income and expenditure account, which is part A of the question. So magazine income and expenditure account, it means this is also a non-profit making entity per se, wing of the business. This is which business? Tangazo Society. So magazine income and expenditure. We talk about for the year ended 30th September 2020. So as usual, we need to restrict the zeros and also show the currency that we are going to be dealing with. So then, let's start. The starting point normally is sales, so let's check if we have any sales. And the best place to look for this information is the receipt and payment account. Remember, receipt and payment account shows all the receipts, money received by the society, and payments, all the money is paid by the society. So we want to sieve out all the receipts that are related to magazines, then all the payments that are strictly related to magazine. That will make our income and expenditure account for the magazine. So let's work together, see all the receipts that are related to magazine. So is that balance brought forward? This is balance as per the bank. Subscription for that year, investment income, magazine advertisement is 22.5. Magazine advertisement 22.5. So this is an income. Magazine advertisement 22.5, and we also have magazine subscription for 7.95. All these are incomes. So we are going to. This will form like part of our sales, what comes in the organization. So it's the income of the organization. But before we have them, we need to check if there is any workings on them. So salaries and wages accruing that, owing to magazine printers, magazine advert. Remember, here we are talking about magazine advert. And what we have here, magazine advert income receivable. Then magazine subscriptions. So it means you have some workings. Do you have any other workings? This is distribution, so this one will come later. This is annual subscription. That one we don't want it now. So these are the two workings that we want to capture. Now let's start with the first one. Magazine advertisement 22.5. This is the amount that was received this year. Then this one, magazine advertisement income receivable. Receivable means that it is owing. They are supposed to pay us, but they didn't pay us, especially this last year, this 2019. So these are some for 2019. It was owing in 2019. So they were supposed to have paid us but they didn't pay by the end of that year. So it means they paid us in 2020. So chances are very high that this 360 is included in this amount. But is it part of this amount? Is it supposed to be part of the income for this year? No, it's an income for 2019. It's an income for 2019, not for 2020. So we are supposed to get rid of it from this figure. But look at this one. This one is an income for 2020, but we did not receive it in 2020. It's an income receivable. We did not receive it in 2020. Instead, chances are very high we are going to receive the same in 2021. But the question here is, does it belong to this year, 2020? The answer is yes. Going with the accrual concept, we are supposed to factor it when we talk about the incomes received in respect of magazine advertisements this year. So what this simply means is that we'll take this 22.5, which was received, plus 550, which was not received, but it's for that year, minus the 360, which was possibly received, but was not. It was received in 2019. No, it was received in 2020, but it was not for that particular year, 2020. It was for 2019. So let's get the answer here. What will you have? This will be 22.25 plus 550 minus 360. That gives us 2415. But this is the way to put it when you talk about serious accounting work, like what we have here. You come up with a ledger, then you say magazine adverts. So this credit, this is debit. What do we have? The magazine advert income receivable. So this is the balance. Remember, this is what we started with, 360, but it's an income. So it will be on the debit side. So we'll talk of balance brought forward. How much? 360. And of course, the balance that we are going to close the year with is 550. And because it's an income, it will be on that side. So balance carried down 550. How much was paid during the year? The figure that was paid during the year is 22.5. And you can see it's on the debit side. So here, because it's an income, incomes are credited. So we'll simply say receipts and payments account. How much? 22.25. Like that. So then we close. This will give us 27.75 as the closing figure. 27.75 as the closing figure. The difference here, this is 27.75 minus 360. That gives us 2415. So this is what will go to the income and expenditure account. So you can see this figure and this is the same. That's how we go about it. So this one I was just trying to explain so that you understand, but this is how to put this information in accounting terms. So that's how it goes. So we'll come here and say magazine advertisements. Sorry, written a lot of space. Magazine adverts. How much is that? 2415. Of course, we have done the workings. Then we come to magazine subscriptions. Hopefully it's going to be the same thing. It's the same thing. There's no need to do the workings again. So magazine subscription for $7.95. That's what was paid for $7.95. Then of course magazine subscription. This is in advance. So these are quite different. Magazine subscription in advance. So this was paid in advance, which means it belongs to this. It was paid in 2019, but in advance. So it was for 2020. So 1190. So it's actually a cost for an income for 2020. So plus 1190. Then this one was paid in 2020, but it's not for 2020. It's for 2021. So minus 925. So realize the change. So here what are we going to have? 4795 plus 1190 minus 925. That gives us 5060. That gives us 5060. And if we are to express this in the same diagram like the one we had, so let me just delete this so that we can express this information in accounting in a ledger. This is what we will have. This is what it will look like. So we'll have it here. Then say magazine subscription. And because this is a magazine subscription in advance, the balance brought forward will be 1190 because it's in advance. The other one was accrued. And then of course receipts and payments, bank, we'll talk of 4795. Get the total, then balance carried down will be 925. Show that these are prepayment for the following year. So then get the total, this will be 5985, 5985, 5985. If you get the difference, it will be 5060. So this is the income and expenditure. So that's how it goes. So simply come here, magazine subscription, say 5060, like that. Then let's proceed. We are done with that side. So printing of magazine, of course, this is an expenditure, and there's something again about printing of magazine. So printing of magazines 5075, owing to the magazine printers. So this was owing. This is what you paid. This was owing. So it's not definitely for this year. It was for 2019. Because it was not for this year, we get rid of it, 1295. Plus what was for this year, which is 1395. So that is the thinking, 1395. So we get rid of what is not for this year, we add what belongs this year. This was for this year, but it had not been paid, so we add it back. So if you get the total here, what will you get? 5075. This will be 5075 plus 1395 minus 1295. That gives you 5175. So you might want to do a lot of practice to see. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, so you can have a good understanding. Printing of magazines. Printing of magazines, the figure we have is 5175. So 5175. It's good if we are done with this. It's good that we show that we are done. So printing of magazines, in fact, if there are so many, let's put them in the inner column, 5175. So let's see if there are others. 5175. Lecture fees? No, that one does not really about the magazines. Stationery, this is a general. All those are general. So general. Office equipment, investment. During the year 30 September, the following amounts were spent on distribution of the magazine. So distribution of magazine. So 325,000 of the total cost of salaries. So salaries and wages, 325,000. Salaries and wages, 325,000. And remember, we have restricted the zeros, so just 325 will do. Then 545 of the total stationery postage was used in magazine. So stationery and postage, 545. Stationery and postage, 545. And let's look for any other. During the year end annual subscription, no, this one doesn't apply. So I think we've captured everything for the magazines. Make sure you capture all the incomes and expenditures for the magazines. Hopefully we have captured everything. So let's get the total for this. This will be 275 plus 3.5 plus 545. That gives us 6045. So we have 6045 there. And then of course we less 6045 minus 7475. This gives us 1430. 1430. That becomes our net. It's actually surplus because we are talking about an income and expenditure. So surplus 1430. Now let's move to item 2, which is B. Income and expenditure account for the year ended 30th September 2020. So this is Tangazo Society. Now we are preparing income and expenditure for Tangazo Society. So Tangazo Society, income and expenditure statement for the year ended 30th September 2020. 30th September 2020. So this is shillings, and we respect the zeros as usual. Good. So then, again we pick the incomes, all the income now related to Tangazo Society. And we'll start with subscriptions. Subscription 9275. So subscriptions. Now subscription 9275. Let me again use this space that we have here. So if we can just come up with these workings. Sorry about that. It has not interfered with my work. Good. Okay. So subscription Subscription 9275. You have to be very careful with these questions. They are normally very tricky. So during the year, I cannot see subscription anywhere here, but down here we have subscription. During the year ended 30 September, annual subscription received included. For the year ended 30 September 2019, 185. So we received this, but this is not, it's for 2019. So we just simply get rid of it. Then for the year ended 30th September, for the year ending 30th September 2021. During the year ended 30th September 2020, the annual subscription received included this for 2019. I'm not interested in 2019, so we get rid of that. And it also included for the year ended 30th September 2021. We are not also interested with that, so we get rid of all this. So what we are simply going to do is 9275 minus all this. In fact, that one we just write it here. So 9275 minus 185 minus 1175 minus 185 minus 1175. 1175. We don't need all these. They don't belong to this year. So let's get rid of all of them. We are only interested, the accrual concept, only interested in items that belong to this year. So 9275 minus 185 minus 1175. This gives us 7915. So 79.15. So we are done with the subscriptions. Let's look at the next one. Investment income. We assume this one is for the whole Tangazo society. So investment income 16.45. And again, before we write it, can we confirm that there is nothing? Investment income. Let's check to be sure that there is nothing. Investment income. Office equipment, investment income. There is investment there, but there is nothing on investment income. So investment income, will pick it as it is. Investment income 16.45. So we'll just pick it as it is, 16.45. Do you have anything else? On income, I really doubt if we have anything else. We've captured these two. So if there's nothing else, let's just get the total and then move to the expenditures. So that will be 79.15 plus 16.45. This gives us 95.60. So let's go to the other side for the we are forgetting something that is very important here. Something that we have within our this one, the surplus from the sale of magazine. Surplus from magazine. It's also an income. Remember, we are now dealing with the whole Tangazo society. So just pick this total here, 1430. So let's get the total again. We're almost forgetting that. Plus 1430. This gives us 10,990. 10,990. Good. So let's go to the other side and start talking about the expenditure. Now this is should be quite straightforward. Printing of magazine, we are done with that. Lecture fees 11.75. Do you have anything on lecture fees? There's nothing. So lecture fees 11.75. How come we have 11.75 here? Lecture fee 11.75. There are two 11.75. So lecture fee 11.75. Lecture fees 11.75. Then stationery and postage. Stationery and postage. Remember, there was something about stationery and postage. 5,000 of the stationery and postage were included in the magazine, and we have already dealt with that. So stationery and postage will talk of 1435 minus 545. Stationery and postage will be 1435 minus 545. The 545 has already been included in the magazine. It was part of the magazine. This one here, the 545, this is what we are talking about, was for magazine, and we've already factored it. So 1435 minus 545. $14.35 minus 545. That gives us 890. So we need to carry on with our telephone expenses 360. No, before telephone expenses, yeah. Telephone expenses 360. Do you have anything on telephone expenses? There's nothing on telephone expenses. So we pick it as it is. Telephone expenses 360. 360. Go back, pick any other. General expenses 1445. General expenses 1445. So there's nothing on general expenses, so we pick it as it is. General expenses 1445. Next. Purchase of office equipment 700. Purchase of office equipment. These are capital asset, capital item. so we will not include it. Purchase of office equipment is capital item, will not include it. It will affect the balance sheet. So we don't include it here under income and expenditure. Rent and rates 10.5. There was something about rent and rates. There was something about rent and rates. So there's nothing. So rent and rates 10.5, we pick it as it is. Rent and rates 10.5. 10.25. Then the next item is salaries and wages. Salaries and wages. Salaries and wages, we have it here with us. Salaries and wages, there's something there on salaries and wages. So salaries and wages 475, this is accruing. So this was for 2019, this was for 2020. Remember, this is ours, this was for 2019, so this is not ours. So what we'll do is we'll simply take salaries and wages for 9.5, what was paid this year, plus 375. That is the part of this was, it's still outstanding to be paid in 2021, but it's for 2020. And then this one was paid in 2020, but it was for 2019, so it is not for this year. So minus 475. So that one will give us 49.5 plus 375. Sorry, 49.5 plus 375 minus 475. This gives us 48.25. So 48.25. And then out of this 48.25, remember there was something. Out of the 48.25, there was something. We're told that 3.25 of the total cost of had been included was for magazine. So 48.25 minus 3.5. So this will be 48.25. Salaries and wages. 48.5 minus 3.5. I hope I've picked the figures correctly. 48.25 minus 3.25. Minus 3.5, this one. So that one will give us, I think, 4,500. So this is 4,500. So you can always express this in form of the ledgers. You can put this in ledgers. What you need to know is you need to understand that this is actually for this year, but was still outstanding, so will be paid in the following year. So when you are calculating the cost for this year, this one will be included. And this one was paid this year, but it was for 2019, so we get rid of it. So we add 375 minus 475, like that. You can put that in a ledger. Then during the year, that is September annual subscription, I think we are done with this. So having said that and having done that, I think we are good to go. There is something about this office equipment. Something about office equipment. Remember at the beginning of the year it was valued at 4,800. Then we purchased office equipment at 700. We purchased office equipment at 700. So there's these are office equipment 4,800, and then we purchased office equipment at 700. So 4,800 plus 700, this gives us 5,500. 5,500, and we are being told that the value at the end of the year is 4,950. So 5,500 minus 4,950. This gives us 550. So this is the depreciation for office equipment. Depreciation for office equipment. We need to capture that here. depreciation for office equipment, 550. We need to capture that. And the reason 4,800 plus what was purchased during that year, 700, that is 5,500 minus 4,950, we have 550. So that's how we get the depreciation. And I'm trying to check around. I think we don't have any other item remaining. So since we don't have any other item remaining, I think we can proceed and close our. Yes. So let's come back here. Let's get the totals. Totals for this. So this is 1175 plus 890 plus 360 plus 1445 plus 1025 plus 4500 plus 550. That gives us 9945. 9945 will less from that figure. So we'll get minus 10,990. This gives us 1045. 1045. This becomes our surplus because we are talking about income and expenditure statement. So that becomes our surplus. So let's move to part 3 of the equation. This is C. And we are still on Tangazo Society. Tangazo Society. And this is now statement of financial position. Statement of financial position. As at 30th September 2020. So we will have again, as usual, the shillings, restrict the zeros, shillings, restrict the zeros, and shillings, restrict the zeros. So we'll have non-current assets, and we already have office equipment. Then we also have the I think there was something, I think. So, yes, you have the office equipment. We have already been given the closing figures. And since we've not been told anything on the investment, we'll pick it as it is. So this is 4950 and 21950. 4950 and 21950. So 4950 and investments 21950. So if we add the two, we will get 4950 plus 21950. This gives us 26,900. So we go to the current assets, and under the current assets now we have, of course, bank balance at the end, which is for 750. This one, bank balance at the end for 750. So bank balance at the end for 750. For 750. Then we're trying to look for the obvious ones. If we don't have the obvious ones, now let's go back to this. Most of these accrued incomes will be assets. Accrued incomes will be assets. Prepaid expenses will also be current assets. So let's pick all the accrued incomes. This is an expense. Magazine advert income receivable. So this is an income. So accrued magazine advert 550. Accrued magazine advert 550. Accrued magazine advert 550. Then next we have magazine subscriptions in advance. Magazine subscriptions in advance. It's also an asset. These are prepaid asset. Prepaid asset. Magazine subscription in advance. No, this one is not. Sorry for that. Magazine subscription in advance, it becomes a liability. So this one will be a liability. Magazine subs. Sorry, let me just get it right. Magazine subscriptions that have been paid in advance. So that one will not be an asset. Office equipment, investment, this one no. Now let's check this. Item number 3. During the year ended, annual subscription received included. Again, we don't have any asset there. So looks like we are done. So this will be our only assets. So let's get the total. So this will be for 750 plus 4750 plus 550. You need to be very careful. This is 5300. And let's go to current liabilities. Now all the accrued expenses will be here. Accrued expenses. And prepaid incomes will also be here. So these are wages accrued, salaries and wages accrued 375. Salaries and wages accrued 375. Salaries and wages accrued 375. Then next, owing to magazine printers, that is 1395. Owing to magazine printers, that's also an accrual 1395. Owing magazine printers 1395. The next, magazine advertisement income receivable, that one we said was an asset. Magazine subscription in advance, magazine subscription in advance, that one we have to include as a liability. Magazine we received in advance, so we are holding on behalf of other people. It's a liability. Magazine subscription in advance 9.5. So magazine subscription in advance 9.5. Magazine subscription in advance. Was it 9.5 or 9.75? Just write 9.5. Hope I got it right. Yeah, 9.5. Office equipment. Investment, nothing. During the year, annual subscription received included. So this is also a prepaid income. So this becomes a liability. So prepaid annual subscription 1175. Prepaid annual subscription 1175. Paid annual subscription 1175. What else? Check around just to make sure. I think we've exhausted everything. So let's go with the totals. So our totals will be 375. 375 plus 1395 plus 925 plus 1175. This gives us 3870. And since their liabilities will less, so that is 3870. Okay, let's start from here. 26,900 plus 5,300 minus 3870. That gives us 28,330. So then we come here and say financed by. Financed by. Oh, we still have a long journey to go. We are supposed to compute the accumulated what? The accumulated fund. So I will just calculate it here. I hope this space will be enough for me. The accumulated fund. We've not been given capital. So if you've not been given capital, we just work from the information that we have. At the beginning of the year, we had this bank was, so this is the accumulated fund account, So this will be credit, this is debit. So bank, the balance we started with was 950. Then the 950, good. Then we do what? We add all the assets. Assets will be on the debit side. Liabilities will be on the credit side as at the beginning of the year. So let's come back here. This is where we are going to get all this information. As at 30th September, you see 30th September 2019, these are the beginning balance, these are the closing balances. So most of what we need is here, the beginning balances. So salaries and wages accruing. So this was a liability, because it's an outstanding expense which you had not paid. So accrued salaries and wages, how much? 475. We put it on the credit side. Owing to the magazine printers also, this is also owing to magazine printers, how much? 1295. Then magazine advertisement income receivable. Magazine advertisement income receivable. This was an asset. So income receivable from magazine adverts, how much? 360. Then magazine subscription in advance. This one had been received in advance, so it was a liability. You are holding on behalf of others. So subscription in advance, how much? 1190. It was a liability. You are holding on behalf of others. Office equipment, this was an asset, of course. Office equipment is an asset, 4800. Investment is an asset, investment, and it's valued at 21,950. Then what else? During the year, this one are just expenses for that year. Then lastly, during the year 30 September 2020, the annual subscription received included. So for the year ended 30 September 2019, we had 185. For the year ended, during the year ended 30 September, the annual subscription received. So if for the year ended 30 September 2020, annual subscription received included part of the last year, 30 September 2019, 185. It means this one was owing when we started the year. So we have subscriptions owing. Subscription owing. How much was it? 185. It was owing at the beginning of the year. We are not interested in anything after that. I think we've captured everything fairly well. We must have captured everything fairly well. So let's get the totals here and the totals here. The difference will be our accumulated fund. So we go. This is 2950 plus 360 plus 4,800 plus 21,950 plus 185. That gives us 3245. 3245. So 3245 minus 475 minus 1295 minus 1190. This gives us 27,285. 27,285. So what that means is that our accumulated fund is 27,285. That was our status at the beginning of the year. So we simply come here and say accumulated fund 27,285. Then of course we now take the overall surplus 1045. Surplus at 1045. 1045. I don't think if we have any other item. So we simply add the two. This will be 27,285 plus 1045. I hope it balances. 28,330. There we go. We are good. So this is our net capital employed. So net capital employed. Net capital employed. So that is it. That's how we go about doing that question. That's how we go about doing that question. You can see 28,330, 28,330 plus balance. Thank God. So we are good to go. So that is question 3. Question 4, sorry. You can follow us for more worked examples, and also you can enroll to our center for real stuff, the real studies. We do the normal teaching, and you can read at your own preferred time, even if it's midnight, whatever time you want. You have notes, and we have the lecturers teaching and explaining. Very good stuff there. So you can enroll for our classes and get first-hand information. Success in your exam as you prepare. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next question.